It's time to gather together. Hi there, I'm Yelta, and I'll be buying the first round where we chat about Final Fantasy XIV. This is episode 234. Pull up a chair and join us. On the menu tonight, new optional items and adventure jumpstart sale. Final Fantasy XIV Arrangement Album Series now available on streaming services. The latest episode of Duty commenced. Big changes to the TOS. All things Live Letter 67. Delays, PvP, and housing updates, oh my. Schedule updates following the postponement of Endwalker's release. Endwalker Special Site updates. Some reminders, developers blog, and we'll read your tweet and fan mail. But first, let's shoot the shit. What has been going on this week? Hey, Ruby. Hey, Kariri.
Hello, hello.
Hey. What's happening?
Life. But not as fast as we'd like it, apparently.
Gotta speed things up a bit by 2 weeks.
Yeah.
We have plenty to talk about on tonight's episode. Stuff I've been doing this week. I've been playing pretty often, pretty much daily since really I wanted to get my ass in gear getting ready for Endwalker. I've been playing Ninja consistently, and I leveled that guy up to 72, so that's pretty rad.
Nice.
I'm having a lot of fun with it. There's some still fucky things with it that I have serious issues, or I just don't. It's not that I don't understand it. I'm just not really good at it. I think there's like the Tenchi Jin. There's an ability that you have to like hit your buttons in a row, and it does all three of the mudras back to back. But I always fuck it up by moving. You're not supposed to move or anything, and it's like, it's terrible. I wish they'd let you move. There's stuff like that I'm just like, I'm not really good at it, and so I'm sure I'm not exactly pulling my weight, but for the most part I'm doing alright. But now I'm getting into like some 70 content, some other stuff. I'm not number 2 on the hate list anymore, so sad day. I'm gonna have to step up my game. But it's been fun. I've been having a lot of fun doing that, and I'm partially also doing that and getting. I'm on like the 3rd from last relic step for the resistance weapons. I'm on the one, maybe it's 4th from the end. I'm on the one where you got to collect 18 crystals, and you can do the fates in certain zones like Alamigan zones, or you can do the fates in the east. And then you can also either do the 60 Alliance Roulette or the 70 Alliance Roulette. And because I was leveling this through the 60s, I was getting the 60 Alliance Roulette a lot, and I got all 18 of those pretty quick doing Void Arc. But the 70 ones, I'm having a harder time doing. I don't like purposefully roll for Robin Oster, which I guess is the one to go to. But I also I've been doing some fates on the side now that I'm doing some like some level 60 stuff, and it's just slow going. So I switched to Dancer for that, and I got my Dancer up to 65, doing fates out there, and then switching to the occasional Alliance Roulette or whatever, and that's been fun. I've been starting to get some weird party finders, some stuff that was cool, some stuff I'm like, what the hell. I had 2 stories. One that I got with a group. I was on Ninja, I believe, for this one. No. I was on Dancer for sure. I got in a group and I did the raid roulette, and I got Alexander, the one where you're like, you have all the gobs come out and you have to get into the little beetle mount and hook the bombs and drag them away.
Yeah. So
I was ranged, and I guess I guess that's the job for ranged. I don't remember. I really actually don't even remember how we did it, how it's supposed to be done, if it matters anymore.
I think you can cheese it now anyway. I don't know.
Probably so, but we got in there, and the first thing is, oh god, this dancer. And I'm like, what? Because I'm the only dancer. It's like I'm immediately being called out as soon as I got into this group. And I made like an O face or something in the chat. And then like one of them said something about like, Dancer, I feel sorry for you, or I feel bad for you. And then they started the fight. And I'm like, what the fuck is going on? So I was like, is this the one with the gob machines? So I jumped in one of them. I hooked the bombs, I pulled them away, and then we beat the fight or whatever. And so I was like, hey, that was my first time doing that. I hope it was cool. And they were like, oh, no, you're good, bro. And I was like, so what are y'all, an FC or something? Like, what's the deal? I was trying to give them the benefit of the doubt. And they were like, oh, yeah, we're the hermanos. We're like 7 dudes that are just buddies, I guess. And so I had the feeling they were IRL friends because they gave me like mixed responses. Like one said friends, one said hermanos, so I kind of got that vibe like they like knew each other. I think one of them did say IRL friends. And they were just like memeing in this dungeon or whatever in this raid. And I guess there were 7 of them and I fell in. So I was like, oh, good shit or whatever. And they gave me like all the commendations. They were super cool. And I was like, oh shit, I had this apprehension going into it. I don't know. Maybe it's from reading all the TOS stuff recently. I don't know what it was. But I was like, they called me out is what I felt like. And then it was like, oh no, they were cool. So.
I've had that too where I've got into a group and like they're apparently all just teasing, but then I've fallen into it and it's not till after everything's over I'm already mad and I'm like, and then they're like, oh no, we just always, rescue people into doom and stuff on purpose. It didn't slow the run down or anything. My gosh. But and they're talking some shit or whatever and I'm like, what did I do? Why do you all hate me?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So I had another similar one to that, and this was in a Bismarck, a hard. I ran like trial roulette, and we got into it, and I was on Dancer again. And immediately some guy jumped off, a DPS fell off. There was like 3 new people. I think before the end, 3 people had fallen off, maybe even 4. And so we had finally figured out how to kill ads and all that good stuff, and we got the dragon killers readied and all that. And we got on the back, and some guy, I don't know if it's somebody who was dead or somebody who was still up, was like, limit break. And part of this is, I think, old school way, where I'm like, okay, the melee needs to limit break. That's how we've always done it, right? Melee will limit break. Mm-hmm. So I'm waiting, and there's a ninja with me, and I'm like, ninja limit break. And he doesn't limit break. Well, then we jump off the shell, and we have to do another round of ads again. And this guy is like, Rubicon, you napping. And I'm like, what? You're fucking calling me out for napping? And I was like, no way. I was letting Ninja do it. And he's like, napping. So I typed ZZZ. And there's a guy, and I think he was a new guy, but he was trying to do like the mentor thing. Maybe he had run it once before or something. He's like, guys, stop fighting. Just break the character. It's like, I didn't know we were fighting or whatever. But, got on it, then I limit broke it, and then I typed ZZZ in the chat or something, and then or I hit /doze, and that was it. But it was kind of a meme, but at the same time I was like, this motherfucker is calling me out. And I guess people just don't care who limit breaks anymore. Like, I gotta throw some of those old school things out of the window that we used to care about. Now that I'm running some old content again, it's like, nobody does these things. We are running... just running over this content. There's no formality anymore.
Nothing matters anymore.
There's no formality. Half these people don't even know what's going on.
When I was leveling my last 2 tanks, whenever we'd finish the last boss and there was still a limit break, I would just use it after. Fuck it. Here, have a tank limit break.
It's whatever. But the guy was... Go ahead.
Well, sometimes I do think it's been calculated a lot of times as actually a DPS loss anyway. Depending on what you're doing. Actually do them on packs of mobs on the way to something.
Well, we definitely needed to, because the other 2 DPS were not holding their, like, even after I limit broke it, and we got back on the Kariri, so it's like, this is probably like the last round, right? And even after I limit broke it, we still had to DPS it a little bit, and it was about to shake us off again or collapse the whole raid or whatever it was. So, that was interesting, but, yeah, I got to give people the benefit of the doubt. People are just memeing hard, whatever. I got to throw some of that old school mentality out the window. So, party finder fun. That's just the way it is out there. And as I run old content, I'm sure I will run into more people, more interesting stories. Other stuff. This is just Endwalker stuff. Now that I know I've got 2 weeks extra, I'm just doing extra shit. I changed my HUD all around. My Senna, my wife, was working on her HUD, and I caught the bug, so I changed all it. Back up your HUD. back up your hotbars, back up your stuff. It's that time. Also, back up your photos. Clean out your photo folder. There's your warning from Uncle Rubicon. I did some glamour stuff. And of course, I watched the live letter and cried along with you when we heard about the delay. And of course, I'm also on the official forums, and I got to read all of that. So, can't wait to talk about all of that. But I will pass the mic over to Yelta. What have you been up to?
I didn't play 14 a ton. I am still slowly running a few things for the irregular tomes. Slowly, I didn't do the get 100 in an hour one. I've just been. So I've been doing some of the dungeons and some of the MSQs, and I got Alamigo twice in a row. Once was in progress, 14 minutes in progress. I don't know what happened to the healer, but I think the tank was new. They only pulled one pack at a time, and I didn't even care, right? I'm just chilling. No one seemed to mind. He just pulled one pack at a time. I healed him and DPS'd, and we finished. I queue up again, get an instant Alamigo. This tank was zooming. He pulled wall to wall, and my like relaxed body was now not ready for this, but he didn't die. He actually was the kind of tank who could do it and back it up by using cooldowns, and he had, the right gear and everything. So it actually was also very smooth.
Nice.
But I was just like, whoa, good. My ass wasn't ready for that. I was like going to toddle over and get a chest, and he's gone. And I'm like, I better go heal him. But no, I just a few things at a time. I think I've done a little PvP. I've done, some MSQ, some dungeons, just a little bit. Check on the house. I'm leaving the All Saints Wake stuff up because it's not All Saints Wake yet, and it won't be for a while. So maybe Kariri and I will feel like decorating some more. We'll see what happens.
Ooh, decorating.
How about you, Kariri? What have you been up to?
I gotta be perfectly real here. Haven't been playing a lot. My favorite game of all time is Animal Crossing, and it just had the biggest update ever. So I've been doing a lot of that. But that aside, I did work on the main storyline quest some more. I had, speaking of dungeon runs, the worst dungeon experience I've had since I've been back. And it was just me. It was just my fault. I was in, I don't even know how to pronounce this, Anamnesis.
Yeah, but it wasn't you. It was your trusts, because they're dumb.
Oh my Christ!
In there.
I went in with my trusts. Well, no, it wasn't them. It was absolutely me. No, it was totally okay. It was a combination. I will give you that. But there's this boss, like the second to last boss is what, Kyclops, and he's got two abilities. He does, right? He's got a swing and a swipe. One's a circle AOE. One's a cone attack. But it's not like on other bosses where, okay, there's the circle AoE, let's get out of it, or there's the cone attack, let's run out of it. You have to catch it while it's charging and get out of where it's going to be.
Yep.
Because you will not have time once it's on the ground. Well, I had never run into this before, and since I've been back. And if it was in the game that this shit happened before, I do not fucking remember it.
The Cyclops in one of the dungeons used to do it. Darkhold. They have since added the AoE markers back in. So
I was so goddamn mad because, well, first of all, the first couple runs, it didn't occur to me that they had different names. So I'm like, oh, how the fuck am I supposed to know which one is which? So I died literally twice just to that. And then by the third run, I was so goddamn mad that I kept dying to the same thing. And then I couldn't figure out, I'm like, well, why the fuck can't the healer keep up with me? The healer can't keep up with me because I'm getting, what do you call that? Where they put stacks of shit on you so you take more damage.
Debuffs or
bone.
Bone stacks.
Yeah, I was just fucked. So it took me, I was so mad. I was shaking. I don't know why I let myself get so mad at this. But it took me 8 runs. It took me 8 runs to beat that goddamn boss.
Wow.
Yeah, it was painful and awful, and I should have just stopped and taken a break. But no, as soon as I figured out swing versus swipe and that I had to get out of it before it landed on the ground, and that's the thing, is it's not just those 2 abilities, though, either. There's also 1, 2, 3, 4. There's 7 other, like, abilities that he does. So it's those 7 on top of these 2 that keep kicking my ass, and I just couldn't keep up. But as soon as I figured it out and timed it properly, it was perfectly reasonable. But so that was an absolute shit show, and I do not look forward to doing that again. But I also don't think if I wasn't running with a trust, I think if I was running with people, it would have gone much smoother. And if, now that I've done it and seen it and know what to look out for, I'll probably do it better. But I am up to, after that, I am up to the next dungeon. That's the next thing I have to do. It's called the Hero's Gauntlet. And then I've got, it looks like a primal fight right after that. So I've got a couple things coming up. And I counted because I was freaking out about how much time was left before Endwalker. And, well, that, deadline got a little looser. Mm-hmm. But I have precisely 25 quests left to finish all the content.
Nice.
Yeah, all the main story content. But, yeah, so that shouldn't be a big deal. The only other thing I've been doing is I went through the Stormblood so fast. I was just trying to just crush the main storyline stuff as fast as humanly possible that I wasn't doing the unlocking flying quests. So I went back to those zones when I was just waiting around, and I unlocked flying in all. I think I only have 1 zone left that I have to get flying unlocked in. And then after I get flying, it's just easy while you're there and have the time to go fly around and uncover the maps and get the achievements for those. So did a little achievement hunting, did a little flying and unlocking quests. I'm still doing every, blue plus sign quest I run into. I did 3 Wandering Minstrel, one's in the level 80 zone. And, so I've been unlocking extreme primals and things. So I haven't run any of the content yet, but I'm getting it unlocked. So sometime when we get bored, sometime when we're way ahead of the game on Endwalker, or, all caught up on Endwalker when it comes out, then we can go back and knock some of this shit out for me, I hope. Nice. But, yeah, for now, that's pretty much all I've done.
All right. Sounds like good times. All right, and listeners, you can shoot the shit with us if you want to come to the website, www.gtffiv.com, and let us know what you've been up to. All right, I guess about us around, we have...
we have support for Gather Together, brought to you by Manscaped, the best in men's below-the-waist grooming. And we've got an exclusive offer just for you, listener, 20% off and free worldwide shipping with the code THALSBALLS, THALSBALLS, THALSBALLS at manscaped.com. Manscaped was very gracious. They sent us each a Lawnmower 4.0 package. And Kariri, you were talking about your husband enjoyed it.
Yeah, it's actually kind of funny because, he always... With this product, you're going to get TMI no matter what, so just deal with it. My husband, he has issues with chafing. He is very active. He does hiking. He does lots of camping. He does bike riding. He does, lots of scouting stuff. So he's out there and chafes an awful lot. Well, they have a product called the Crop Preserver Anti-Chafing Ball Deodorant. And it's like aloe vera, and it's like absorbing and drying, and it's so good. It actually smells nice. He puts them on my hand so I can smell it. And yeah, he said it worked like a charm, and he wants me to buy him some more. Then on top of that, he was trying out, we to be perfectly honest, haven't tried off the lawnmower or any of the grooming tools yet. We are looking forward to trying out the nose and ear hair trimmer thing, but he's been wearing the boxers. He loves the boxers, and he wants me to buy him some more. So these are the 2 products that they recommend over. We recommend over at my house. That would be Crop Preserver Anti-Chafing Ball Deodorant and the boxers that they sell.
I'm not going to lie, that ball deodorant is pretty legit. And
It's pretty great.
We opened the box, and my Senna immediately said, "Oh, ball deodorant, you need that." So thanks, hon. Really appreciate that. That jumped out at you.
Vote of confidence from the wife.
Yeah, really, really great. So check them out, Manscaped. It's good stuff. Get 20% off and free shipping with the code FallsBalls at manscaped.com. 20% off, free shipping, manscaped.com. It's the holidays. Give that to your loved ones. Hell, if your lover says Lahi every time they're down in your umbral area, you got to get some Manscaped, okay?
All right. We will go for the first round is news. We're going to start with new optional items and Adventure Jumpstart sale. The new optional items, we've got 3 Piano Collection Orchestrion rolls. So we've got To the Sun, Serenity, on Westerly Winds, I think are the 3 new ones. And then, let's see, we've got Jump Pots and, well, let me see. It looks like these story skips, the job jumps, and the retainer job jumps are all on sale. So Tales of Adventure, Stormblood, Heaven's Word, A Realm Reborn are all on sale. And then all the Tales of Adventure job skips. So if you're looking to skip, they are on sale, and now would be the time to do it.
It's pretty affordable.
Yeah, they're not too pricey.
50% off is really good.
And then it is from October 27th. A sale goes on until Friday, November 19th. And I think they clarified later that just because they're pushing that out Endwalker, they're not changing this sale.
Yeah, this is probably
period.
coded in somewhere.
Yeah.
They probably have this coded in their Mog Station stuff, and yeah, I get that from a sales perspective. You wouldn't extend it for that reason.
All right, and then we have the Final Fantasy XIV Arrangement Album Series is now available on streaming services. So from Astral to Umbral, Duality, and Journeys are all on the different streaming services. And then they also mentioned to check out the 7-inch vinyl single from the Primals. That's available Wednesday, November 17th. And I think there's a trailer somewhere.
Yeah,
a promo
show
trailer
this
for
off
somewhere. Yeah. So if you got a vinyl record player, that might be neat to have.
Or if you bought that other box set and you need the
Yeah.
Endwalker one to go with it.
And then watch the latest episode of Duty Commenced. I honestly completely missed this one. They were doing the Dragon Quest collaboration event. They were doing community commendations. So I think we might have already, I don't remember if we talked about this and I missed it and I was going to watch it when they uploaded the video, and it's up now.
Yeah, we talked about that it was coming up, but we didn't talk about the event itself. Yep.
Yeah,
So
I skimmed through it. It's
Okay.
them doing Crystal Tower and some PvP stuff and all that good stuff. It looked like fun. Looked like a good time. I'm surprised I didn't catch it. Well, they were in Crystal. They were on the Crystal data set.
Yeah.
I'd like, getting into all that Void Arc. I've been running Void Arc, it feels like, every day. So, yeah.
All right, we've got some big changes to the terms of services. They've specifically updated the prohibited activities and the account penalty policy. And they've got links to the updated documentation. And they've not updated the terms of use, the player agreement, or the material usage license. They encourage us to go check those out too. So prohibited activities in Final Fantasy XIV. They've added 2 prohibited activities in the Party Finder as countermeasures against vendors of real money traders, so RMT. I just want to say I have been playing on and off, and I check, and it is kind of refreshing not to have the entire front page all be basically RMT.
Ain't that something?
Selling of content. The update is in response to RMT vendors repeatedly creating fraudulent recruitment listings in the Party Finder. They've made 2 activities prohibited. So let's see.
I love that they added examples of things that are violations and not violations.
Yeah, that caused a lot of a stir. Let's see, were they prohibiting the advertising of RMT services and the creation of recruitment listings in incorrect categories within the party finder? Yeah.
You can still ask for help, and I think you can still offer help. You just can't be like, I'll sell this run for 1 million gil. I think the real problem wasn't people just doing it for gil. It was the people who then make you go to a Discord and figure out a real money transaction to make that happen. Whatever.
Sure. And there were lots of traps in there too. I mean, not only that, but you could get caught in some other kind of scheme. I read one from the Tales of the Duty Finder type things from the official forums prior to the TOS change, but some guy in their guild got hacked, and it was a group of friends, and the guy had the same powers as everybody else. It'd be like one of us three being hacked in our free company, if they have all the power. And it was one of those things where, like, they took the gil out of the chest, they traded it to somebody else, and then they went on. And I think there was some recourse because the player touched hands instead of it going from the free company directly to the thief. But regardless, it's one of those situations where somebody clicked the wrong link because they touched something that they shouldn't have, and there was weird stuff like that was going on outside of even just the, hey, want to clear, want this. And then you got the weird shit like housing. I think they talk about the other solicitations in the next part, like the weird housing stuff and, ERP in the wrong category or whatever else. It gets kind of odd. Kind of spammy.
It gets spammy. Well, and they did talk about the other category. So, you can still promote player events, housing-related promotions, advertising for the purchase and sale item, recruitment of members for community groups, and it's like link shells and stuff. But that belongs in other. And I've been seeing them, like almost all of those ones that were ones I would want to do. They were usually listing them in, like, level 50 dungeon category or something.
It'll pop up near the front, near the top.
Yeah. But I mean, if I'm looking for a player event, I'm looking for it in other. I've gone to some of these, bars and go check out, these so sometimes they'll have like a comedy club or whatever. But I just want to be able to find it, and the other category seems like the right place. So I'm glad they did this.
Yeah, there was a lot of discussion about this overall too. I think there was a few people that were kind of perturbed, but I think the ones that were mad about this section of the TOS kind of fall to the side of, well, you were probably selling runs, or there was something that maybe was kind of weird that's going on, or you just wanted to pull some sort of wacky defense. It was hard to defend the RMT side of it. In fact, I watched a Xenos' video where he wasn't defending RMT, but he said he didn't really care either way, and they were coming at him in the comment section of the YouTube. And I understand the sentiment, and there was a lot of people that were coming from the WoW community that were like, RMT ruined our game. So I get it, and I think it's hard to not defend this. It's hard to defend RMT sellers. It's hard to get on that side of the fence and go, well, they should be able to do something. So this is this section of the TOS change I heard a lot about, or I heard a lot about, but nobody really sided with selling runs as much as they sided with, we are so happy that this stuff is not clouding up the party finder.
Well, and I saw some people who were having the reaction of, I guess I can't offer to help people with stuff in the party finder anymore. And I'm like, I don't think that's what they said.
No, it very specifically says, totally a non-violation. I'm new. Can anyone help me with a clear for this duty? Or someone says, help me clear this duty and I'll pay you.
The other way I'm talking about. They were saying that I've already done everything in the game. There are people who put up, we'll help you clear anything I'm able to, just join the party. I don't, it's like, is that going to be deemed? Now, normally, honestly, I join a lot of, hey, just trying to clear this before whatever patch or something. I join those all the time. And I, grab the free company and join them all the time. But I'll never sit up there being like, help you clear stuff, because that just sounds like I probably want something out of it, I guess. I don't know.
I know it kind of probably falls in the wrong way, but like, you could probably put one up that says clear for one, and that one is you.
That one is you. But it was very nice to open up the party finder and not see the entire fucking first page be win cells. Not that I even necessarily have an issue. I mean, we used to sell wins when we were in a different free company. It wasn't my favorite thing to do, but I mean, I've also dragged people through content that probably had no business clearing it anyway for free. So it's one of those kind of like, areas.
I've also heard that the RMT stuff moved to fellowships, although I have not verified that. There's a lot of weird stuff in the fellowship, so keep an eye on that. Fellowships actually have something now, RMT activity.
I'd have to remember they exist. Kariri, have you even found the fellowship menu yet?
I joined one that you sent me without ever looking at it or doing anything with it. So fellowships did not exist when I left, and as far as I'm concerned, they still don't exist.
I still don't know what they're supposed to solve. All right. Let's see. Other solicitation. Did we already talk about this? Yes. All right. Adjustments to the prohibited activities, documentation, blah, 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 blah. Oh, this was the stalking clause, right?
Yeah.
So there are some, and this is a real problem in the game. I've talked to people who've had it happen. Every time someone goes to their house, somebody's standing there trying to talk to them or whatever, and it's like, or following her on the map and being, but also not making any reportable or threatening language. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like what? Somebody showing up and poking you a bunch or something?
Just kind of just always standing there or following me around.
Oh, showing up at your house.
Yeah,
that kind of stuff.
It's just creepy and unsettling. So they also did put, like, purchasing a house plot with the intention of resale has also been added to the list. Let's see, they got some examples here. I don't know. They've added some examples. I don't know what the section was. Let's see. Oh, it looks like they put examples to a lot of the stuff to make it easier to understand what constitutes a violation. I gotcha. So, and other minor text adjustments. Account penalty policy. We've known penalty points have existed, but they've never really been revealed for real. And now they've added a penalty points decay system. It seems really slow. So basically, if you do something that incurs a penalty, you get points. So like if you are obscene or aggressive or use slander or whatnot, you get penalty points against I'm assuming your account. And then they sum those up, and if you hit a number, I think you get bans and stuff. So they were internal information previously, but now they have to declare them now so they can announce this reduction of penalty points. So you're still going to get penalty points the same way you always got them, but now they're implementing a system where accrued ones can be reduced based on the number of days that have passed since the previous penalty. So penalties are intended to urge offenders to reflect their violations and discourage repeat violations. However, they've confirmed cases where permanence of past penalties instead led offenders to commit more violations. Mm-hmm. Because penalties won't go away anyway, so you might as well salt the earth, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So they thought it would help to set decay periods.
I think it's great. I've heard some good things about this from people. I actually have been sitting here, and Yelta, I've been listening, but I'm just reading this thing going, what the fuck happened? Something changed here. Because when this came out, I swear to God, there was a bunch of weird examples about the stuff. And in this, what I'm reading, I don't see all the old weird examples that they had. Maybe it's on the next post when we look at it, the one that Foxconn gives an explanation of. But there was like a bunch of stuff that was giving examples of how to talk to people and how not to talk to people.
I remember seeing that too.
Okay, because I was ready to talk about that shit, the crazy examples that they gave, and it was giving people a fucking panic attack. Like, okay, again, this changes to the RMT thing, good. I think most people side with that. There's some nuances. The penalty point system is great. It's so people don't just burn the house down, burn the bridge. I feel like there's something those that are moving past their previous transgressions have a road to redemption.
Oh, maybe I should watch my step. I don't want to incur yeah.
Okay, I see. It's at the top. It's not within the body of the document. Yeah,
they talk about slightly vulgar jokes, and they talk about...
Yeah, I think the one... Look, if we're going to talk about any of them, because a lot of these are pretty much... Look, we understand that you don't talk about some of these things and it's stupid. Or we understand you don't stalk people or whatever. But there was one in particular that was that people were talking about helping somebody in a fight. Like, am I not allowed anymore to say, hey, you need to stand on these pads in Karn to get rid of the Doom?
Go find expressions that compel a playing style. That might be the section you're thinking of. Mm-hmm. It's because it's prohibited to force personal views or disregard the opinions of others. If a report has been filed with the prohibited activities confirmed, a penalty be issued. So... The first example, it's prohibited to make statements such as, there's no way we can clear this with suggestion. Well, there are times that is the only honest and truthful answer. We can't clear it without doing this or that. And then the second one, big pulls are normal here, so do it. I don't have any fault with the first section. Big pulls are normal here, so you can try if you like, is how I would do it, right? That's just my style, though. I don't care what you think, just follow my instructions. I can see getting to that point, though, after people don't stand on the pads in Karn and you've now wiped for the 7th time. I don't know. I'm not asking for your opinion. I mean, I can see where you can get to, and I've probably been, I probably have said there's no way we can clear this because of X, Y, or Z.
Yeah.
Not hurtfully on a personal level, but just, people came in with broken... I mean, we've literally had people... I've had their entire gear set broke when we were in there. Well, each pull is getting worse. We can't clear it. I've even suggested then let's create a party finder afterwards and go do it. I don't know.
Yeah.
Here it is. Example of a violation. We can only beat duty/content by using something. You can't do it anyway, so stop doing that. That's usually a false statement, but, I mean, we can only beat some content if you push your buttons, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah. What I kept gathering is that it's the you part in it that's what's wrong with all of these. When you're targeting one person or one activity, or it's easily traceable back to that individual, that's where the nuance is. You have to kind of flower it up, is what it really felt like. Well, that's exactly
what the example of the non-violation says. Yeah, the example of the non-violation is, I think whatever will go more smoothly if we do X, Y, or Z, so I want to try doing it that way. Is that okay with everyone? But, I mean, there's literally fights in the game that while I'm fighting, and if I type, I think of that one where the Muggles will get raised if you don't bump them out of the circles. If I type, you gotta bump them out of the circles.
Oh, you said you.
But, or we, whatever.
No,
it doesn't matter.
I know. It's silly.
It doesn't matter, but it's like,
I'm stroking the fear. What I'm saying here, I'm playing the devil's advocate, which is what a lot of people were doing.
I can absolutely see the day one knee-jerk reactions when a lot of us read a lot of this stuff, even the first time. We're like, so we can't tell people the gimmick to clear the fight anymore? That's really what most people were worried about. So we can't...
Well, I just keep thinking of me in the fight, like I was just talking about. If I had been in there with you, for instance, if we were running together and you said, Carrie, we can only beat this if you get out of those and stop getting stacks of bullshit. So please stop getting stacks of bullshit. That's a violation by their rules.
Technically, it's technically a violation if I tell you to get out of the bag.
And that's crazy to me.
I have to flower it up and be like, this whole fight would go more smoothly if you didn't stand in the bullshit.
Well, right. I mean, I could have called that guy out that called me by name and said I was napping. I mean, I could, that's silly. That's a stupid thing to do because the guy was memeing or whatever else. Or oh God, this dancer. Like, I could make a case for something silly because they pointed me out as the only one. And I saw a lot of disingenuous takes. This is the part that I saw a lot of disingenuous takes on, that people were like, well, I can't help anybody anymore, whatever else. And I don't believe that that's the case at all. But I think it's back to that kind of one and done, like, we need to break the the fang and claw thing or something. We need to stand on the pads. We do this. And it's like, you put it out there. If they don't bite, they're basically telling you in the TOS, don't aggravate much further than that. You've got your options to leave or kick them or whatever that you feel like needs to happen at that point. So that's really where they're leaving it. I think it's a kind of a CYA. They're backtracking on some stuff. I think they even said that they were doing a lot of these changes so they could crack down on some stuff they've wanted to and they couldn't. So that's part of it. But a lot of people took this as, wow, they just want me to add some sugar and rainbows on it. Yeah, this is getting real woke, that kind of shit. So I don't know. It remains to be seen. When it changed the last time, I was trying to look up when they changed it before, because you remember it was it was
the same Fallout. It was the world is ending.
It was brimstone, and that's why I referenced some of those other streamers. I don't remember what the sentiment was from them back in the day, but I do recall a lot of people that were prominent streamers having the sentiment that the TOS was going to ruin everything, and all these snowflakes were going to ruin the stuff. And I didn't see that really happen. I don't think we're going to see that really happen. But I guess it does remain to be seen what happens here moving forward. Of course, all this shit got eclipsed totally by the live letter stuff. So it was like, this was big shit for a day or two, and then the official forums was just all lit up in flames over this one, because it's a bunch of people with disingenuous takes trying to rile up people. So maybe all pomp over nothing. But Foxconn had to come out and do a fucking apology. That's what I was referencing earlier. Not an apology.
Yeah. And I'm not sure I ever saw that one. Is that the follow-up?
Yes, he had to explain all of those examples, and they're not in this either. Well, I guess they are, about the offering, how much you can do, is selling clears prohibited. But again, this was another one where I think they took the quotes out, but they had a bunch of the quotes that were in the previous post, and he was rebutting those and saying, here's why it's not as bad as you think, and if you get reported, that doesn't mean you necessarily are going to get a penalty point, and all of that.
Oh, I've told people to report me before. People have not liked me trying to be doing, honestly, a helpful suggestion and been told I was getting reported. And I'm like, okay, we'll let the GM sort it out, because I had not done anything wrong.
Yep, that's what I would say. Let the GM sort it out, and I wouldn't talk to them any further.
Well, and that's one of the things he mentions here that I thought was, important. He says, if a report is filed, the full context of the conversation is thoroughly investigated. And if we find a violation, only then will a penalty be imposed. As such, to reiterate, there is no need to worry any more than before.
Right.
They basically said, a lot of this is, there were people getting penalized before, but the players didn't understand what they did wrong or what the issue was. So they added all of these examples to the prohibited activities in hopes of lowering the number of those cases. So I think, like you said, like Ruby said, I think a lot of it was just disingenuous and people arguing for the sake of argument. But I do understand some of the concerns too, because there's a balance here between special snowflake and protecting people from getting, blasted 24/7. So they're trying to, balance on a line here, and I think what they're trying to do is good. But yeah, there is a balance there that I don't know. They have to be careful with, for sure.
I couldn't stop 3 kids from fighting in the back of a car. I don't know how they don't have, 5 million people exploding on each other all the time. And they don't even get to argue that we're not going to McDonald's. All right. Let's see. Okay, so we're going on to live letter 67. And we're going to borrow Nova Crystallis's as an outline, because that is honestly my favorite place to go find the the summations of these things. So let's just talk right away. You know, the first things first is the Endwalker is getting delayed 2 weeks. Yoshi P apologized for it for 28 minutes, and then I think there's an apology on the forums as well. It sucks, and I have sympathy for everyone. I was excited. A lot of us have played this game for a long-ass time. A lot of us, this is one of our major ways to chill and wind down, and and a lot of us had scheduled vacation time, you know, and moving it further into December doesn't actually make that any easier. So Endwalker has been delayed for 2 weeks. I think early access is the 3rd now.
Yep, the 3rd. Endwalker, the official launch is the 7th.
So, I for myself I think I got all my vacation moved. However, I have a less day because I don't have Halloween to work, or not Halloween, Thanksgiving to work around anymore. Do you guys get your days moved? if you were going to take any? Yeah.
I actually took off different days because when I first took my days off, I had just come back to the game and I didn't realize like early access. I forgot about early access. So this time I actually took off like the Friday and the Monday.
Oh, yeah.
So that'll be better for me. But yeah, I got my days switched and it actually turned out better for me. So I'm not, and it gave me more time to finish the main story quest. So I'm actually one of the, minority who's very happy about this. Well, my other thought on it also is, frankly, Yoshi P knows what the fuck he's doing. And I trust him. And if he says it needed it, then it needed it.
I would rather they delay 2 weeks. It would have been nice if they had known earlier to let us know earlier, but womp womp, I guess. I think that's one of the biggest arguments people have is,
yes,
why did they wait till the live letter? If they knew they were going to delay it, we should have been informed as soon as humanly possible. I mean, they obviously knew about it before the live letter. They had already changed the dates on the trailer, that kind of thing. So why
What did he say? He only knew about it like the Friday before.
Yeah, and it wasn't that much either. But it sucks. But what are you going to do? This is the first time they've actually had a delay when they've given us actual calendar dates.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. It sucks. It really does. This is one of those situations it's really hard to voice an opinion without, one, feeling a little bad because you know that Yoshida works really hard on this stuff and feeling a little guilty for, being a little selfish. And I think a lot of us have some selfish feelings about it. But it's also one of the situations that when anybody publicly voices a displeasure in something like this, the Great White Knights, the Warriors of Light will come out and will just come and strike you down for even saying anything. I saw one of the world first runners say that they were disappointed that they had to move their PTO around, and they just got eaten alive on Twitter about this kind of stuff.
But you're allowed to be disappointed. It makes me
You are
mad.
allowed
It's
disappointed.
like you're allowed to be sad that your expectations were not met. Right?
I'm gonna throw a hot take out there, but I mean it in all sincerity towards Yoshida. Yoshida's pride is what really caused this delay.
You wanted it to be perfect.
Yoshida's pride in this game is what caused the delay, and he also the pride in his ability, the ability of his team, the scheduling, that he could thread the needle so close and still get things the way he wanted. That there is a level of pride that he felt that he could take the risk to go in front of, or that it wouldn't happen, to go in front of the Square Enix board and say, hey, I've got to bump this guy down. And even though for him it was a matter of a couple of days, but they felt the necessary to bump it 2 weeks or whatever, and though the fans will, us tempered fans will always go, well, it means the right thing. Yoshida always makes it right. There is an element of Yoshida's pride, his ego, that caused a delay in this game, and I'm not afraid to say it. Now, it's because of his pride that this game is the way it is. So if you want a good quality product, his pride is going to deliver it to you. we just get it 2 weeks late. But if you're mad, you can be mad at Yoshida's Pride because he loves this thing so much that he's willing to push it out a little bit to piss off the heads, the powers that be, to make this the perfection he thinks it is. So
he also said that he was. I mean, Endwalker's the finale. It's the the end of the whole first.
If you're going to do it for any of them, this is the one you'd want to do it for.
He didn't want to compromise. And yes, they talked about doing cuts or patches or whatever. Honestly, when you start taking your code base and start chopping it up and backing stuff out, sometimes that causes more problems than it really solves. So
right. And it seemed like it turned out to be, it's a Q&A thing, right? Like they pushed it to the end and if they want to do this without the checks, so be it. But he's not going to launch this thing without QA checks. So that's really what it boiled down to. So I do want a good product. I'm happy to wait for a perfect product. I'm not fooled into believing that other producers would have just launched something and would have said, "I'll make a patch, do a patch on it." Whether that's better or not, that's up to you to personally decide.
I think we all would have been way more pissed if we logged in the first day and all of our gear except for belts was deleted. And then they had to roll the game back and in 3 weeks.
You lost all your stuff. Yeah.
I'm just saying. Thanks. I'm just a trust he knows what's best, even though I'm not happy about it. All right, so, some people are happy about it because that gives us a 12.3 early access launch, 12.7 Endwalker official release. That moves Pandemonium to 12.21, which made some people happy because I don't remember why. Some people were happy about that.
The next one is the happiest, I think.
Oh, yeah. Because it put Savage, because otherwise Savage was going to be on Christmas, right?
Yeah.
Is that what it was? Yeah. Let me pull up the calendar. Yeah, that would have put Savage Prague on basically Christmas.
The Raiders are happy. This is the thing with the timing. Even though people are pissed at the delay, I think it was better for everybody in the long run.
And then All Saints Wake, which is, it's in the real world, it's kind of the Halloween event. But it was supposed to be launched alongside Endwalker, which is already after our Halloween. I know it's not Earth, but it's going to be in January. So what's interesting to me is that I think they said that whatever our Christmas one is, any other events are still happening as timed. And that makes me wonder what's in All Saints Wake that they couldn't just pull it out or change the date on the flag. I don't know. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
What about All Saints Wake? Did it get pushed to January? All right. Any more thoughts on the delay? Is Kariri asleep in her chair? No. We started late, so I'm like waiting for Kariri to pass out.
Oh, gosh, no, it is what it is. Yeah. I mean, most people are not happy about it. I totally understand people not being happy about it. I'm happy about it, but not, it is what it is. We're going to deal with it, and we're going to enjoy the game whenever it comes out. So that's where I'm at.
I'd take the quality over speed, I guess.
Exactly.
All
right, let us do the Endwalker trailer, guys. Let's do it.
Yeah, they took the nastiness out of our mouth with that by at least giving us this nice launch trailer. So
yeah, they did.
Yeah, I think we're gonna watch it. So
let's do that.
Ruby, do the countdown.
All right, I'm gonna do the countdown.
Okay.
3, 2, 1, click. There's themes.
Look away. There's nudity. There might be bosoms.
Oh,
we have Limsa.
Pretty music.
It is pretty music.
And Emmett Sell narrating.
I'm not sure why.
Yeah, how is that happening?
Know.
Yeah.
I honestly think what he's saying here might have something to do with Pandemonium.
Because Pandemonium's ASEAN themed.
You know how they do with these trailers. They're all chopped up from all the other stuff.
Oh, so when they played this live, we only had the Japanese one, and her voice is so insane in Japanese. It's just, it's so Japanese. Oh, this is like the end of times Amarot again, but like no one has hoods on mostly. You can see their hairstyles.
Interesting.
2 faces. All I can think of is Nalthal.
I love the paladin
Equipment still awesome.
See, when he
looking.
says every step of your descent, that's why I think it's Pandemonium. I think it's Emmett Silk talking to La Habrea.
Oh.
Our tail wends towards the final days. I just love it.
Do we know what the blue hair is? Have we seen her before?
Gotta have it, but no,
right.
I don't know. And we got Vanat. I don't know who the Lady of Light, on our trip with us.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's gonna give us a magic flower.
That flower actually might also be something to do with the like Elysium Fields death.
I want to know what that boss was wearing.
Oh, I'm gonna have to go back later.
The yellow thing?
The yellow thing.
Yeah, I think it's one of the sisters.
Oh, yeah. The 3 sisters, they've shown us the art for them. I think one of them was wearing a yellow thing.
Fantastic.
Beautiful. The music takes a turn here.
I don't know where Alice's butt went, but...
Well, we're not supposed to be looking at it.
No, purely scientifically speaking.
Even though
music
Yoshida
gets
called
intense
her
here.
our waifu.
Waifu. I think at this point I was like, the first dungeon is the California wildfires. Second dungeon. Probably second dungeon.
Some of these monster models are great.
They're just terrifying.
Yeah.
Some of the voices are recognizable. I think there's at least one new voice that's in this. Not quite sure who it is.
And that's armor he's looking at, right? Is there some special armor thing going on? And we have, like, giant orbs of darkness. Nestinian's looking badass.
He almost looks like Christ-like. His arms
I know,
spread there.
Kariri. I almost didn't want Kariri to watch the trailer, because she's going to be like, is he not dead yet?
Yeah, no.
That's exactly what I was like, but yeah.
Rumi made a very interesting observation that one of those flashbacks wasn't A Realm Reborn, it was previous.
Yeah.
Stubble.
Gotta love the stubble.
See, this is...
He's still not dead, too.
He's not done. And Van Daniel obviously still loves Zodiark, so don't be fooled. That was the new voice, I think, was there at the end. Heidelin's always bigger than I think the planet is, and it kind of bothers me that we need to go to other bits of it. Overwatch this part.
Two of you at my side.
Uh-oh.
It means more to me than you know. Thank you. From the bottom of my heart.
I've seen people take this image and put their own face in it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, there's been lots of it.
That which I could do today.
Oof. Okay.
Scaring the shit out of me, Alphino.
Tomorrow is never promised. The fuck does that mean?
I don't know. Everybody thinks that they're going to kill off Alphino, but then for historic Final Fantasy reasons, I feel like they should also kill off Alice.
Oh, yeah.
They'd have to kill them both. They'd have to, yeah.
We failed to mention that we were all watching this together, and the night that came on, and when we were watching this, it was in Japanese, right? And I don't speak Japanese, but it was like arigato, da 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 da, and I was like, this tone, No. I don't speak Japanese, but I feel like he's gonna die. And then we have a friend, Vi was like, something bad sounded bad.
Trying to at least get out some of the phrases for us.
Yes, and then of course we got the English like almost immediately after that. There's a difference in tone. I think people are saying a little difference there, but I think in English you still can go. English has that tongue-in-cheek kind of thing where, like, you're foreshadowing, and even though it doesn't sound bad, like, he's probably saying that at the beginning. They clip the beginning of what he's saying. He's saying, the two of you at my side. We're going to find later that you get to walk...
he said, to have you at my side.
I felt like he was saying, I might have to go back and watch that. I was assuming
to
he
have
was
you at my
saying,
side.
two of you at my side. I was hoping that meant, he's going to be walking with his sister behind us. We're going to talk more about that. That maybe it's the beginning of the journey, like he's saying, hey, I got to go deliver a letter to somebody. I don't want to wait for it. I just want the two of you at my side. So it could be a complete red herring. It could be foreshadowing at the beginning of the expansion, too. So
I am convinced they have plot armor. They're not going anywhere. We see them in our trusts. They're everywhere. I don't think they're going to kill him. I don't. They're trying to make us think they are.
Right, with
like
them huddled in darkness.
Red herring all the way. Yeah, those two in the dark and the cold and leaning on each other and them focusing so heavily on Alphino at different spots in the trailer. I do feel like they're just setting it up to make us think so.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I could see them actually sacrificing someone, but I'm trying to think, who could they sacrifice? I don't think they can sacrifice anyone in a trust. So they're going to sacrifice Tataru? I mean...
I'm voting they sacrifice Xenos. Oh, wait, he's not on our side.
He just won't stay dead. Kariri, I've talked to him about this ad nauseum, and it's just like, least compelling character ever
on the moon,
will not
blow
die.
up the moon. The
Just, whatever.
Zodiac and Xenos gone.
Fuck? Okay.
Oh, yes. That's probably what would happen.
Oh, my goodness. All right. I'm not going to read it, but Yoshida did do a big, long Lodestone post apology. If you're more interested in seeing what he had to say about the delay, he's very, very sorry, guys. Well, we still have more stuff to talk about there, but I just want to say again with the postponement, though, I'm going to skip down to the other stuff that's postponed. Basically, the pre-orders, if you're not sure about your pre-order, who just got billed? Ruby, was that you, Ruby?
I'm about to get my email.
Okay.
So, I got an email. I got an email that I'm about to get an email. So they said on the 15th is when I will be billed for all of my stuff. So November 15th, right around the corner.
That's Monday, right? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so if you're worried about your pre-order, contact your retailer. Adventure Jump Start Sale. They're not extending that like we said before, so basically it's over Friday, November 19th. Moogle Treasure Trove, as previously announced, the event is scheduled to be available until 6.0 maintenance. So they're not extending it, they're not cutting it off early, they're not doing anything. It's just before 6.0. However, I'm just going to say, don't sleep on it. If there's something you really, really want from there, go get it. Because they've said we could end it early, right on the, page. So, and then we've also mentioned All Saints Wake is going to be around late January 2022. The Starlight Celebration and Heaven's Turn are still scheduled to be on their usual timing. All right, let's go back then, because I accidentally closed that page. All right, we've watched the trailer. We've talked about the little delay. Let's talk about what's in the game. They did character profiles. I think the Lady of Light, I don't think Kariri's seen her yet, so,
We've hardly seen her, too.
We've hardly seen her either. You basically get a glimpse. We know about Tataru, Grahatia, Alize, Alphino, Urianger, Y'shtola, Thancred, Lady of Light. Yeah, Xenos. So they gave a... I don't know who this was for, but they gave a profile for each character. Okay, so this next part, I'm torn on this one. It's a neat feature, but I don't.
Why?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't get it either.
I don't know.
Like,
did we need this?
What feature are we looking at?
We are looking
what's
at
to come?
Yeah, so what's to come in 6.0? So they talk about there's a system that works while you're questing, where characters will follow alongside you or ride a mount with you and have conversations. It is said somewhere else that this is going to be essential. Oh yeah, here, it's right here. It's an essential part of the narrative. So it's going to be part of the narrative. The team is working to let you also use G-pose during this feature. So the screenshot is, the main character has Alizé and Alphino following him around, and I'm assuming it's kind of like more like a single player Final Fantasy game where, someone might be, it's not a cut scene, you're walking around, but as long as you're on the right track, as long as you're walking down the right path, they'll walk with you and have conversations or whatever. And if you go off the track, they're just going to return to their position. You can pick them up later. So it might be an interesting storytelling thing, but part of me is like, did we need this? I don't know yet.
Yeah, it took me by surprise. I didn't feel like it was something that was needed. It reminds me very Dragon Quest-y, so I don't know if Yoshida's reaching back to the Dragon Quest stuff. But it's like, are they supposed to like talk to us? Is it a party chat feature? Is it just for giggles? Is it part of that narrative we were just talking about? Like, are they setting us up to believe that these two are going to go, so they have to make a connection? Is this the Final Fantasy 15 thing? We got to solidify that brotherhood, so then when they tear us apart at the end, it pulls at our heartstrings. Or is there something else?
I thought it might just be an immersion thing, something neat they could do, but I'm like, I don't know if it's going to be worth the time and money. I don't know yet. I don't know. I'm not opposed to it, but I'm like, what else could they have done with this dev time? Is my kind of thought.
The immersion thing's kind of what I was thinking too. This seems like a feature that we wouldn't even notice if it had been there at the, at the beginning of the game, and them putting it in now. Just, I don't know. I don't. Like you said, I don't know that this was necessary, but I don't think it's a bad thing. Yeah. I mean, like you said, maybe the devs could have spent the time doing something we'd rather have, but I don't see that there's anything wrong with it. It's just nothing anyone was begging for, I don't think.
I wonder if instead of having like a longer cutscene, we can have a shorter cutscene, and instead of teleporting us to the end point, where, it's just consider it kind of part of the cutscene. While you're walking there, they'll say stuff, Yeah. Yeah. I'm not opposed to it, but I was like, okay, I'm like, literally no one asked for this, was really what I thought about. Not in a bad way, just I was like, it might be neat. I might love it too, right? I do like immersion, so I may actually love it. All right, a lot of this is already in. Some of this we've even talked about. So we're going to kind of talk about what we want to, but what's to come in 6.0? New role quests. We're going to have 5 quest lines now: tank, healer, melee DPS, physical range DPS, and magical range DPS. So I think before we had 4, right?
Right.
So then there's going to be extra quests for completing all 5 in 6.1 or later. The next one surprised me a little bit. There will be no level 90 job quests. That's it. They kind of decided that the job quests are done. They've told the story. So I totally understand why they don't do job quests.
Yeah, he said, what are you going to learn from them? You're like God or something. He
At this point, you're way above anyone who's been training you.
Right. We had an interesting conversation about this, that maybe the quest givers are actually the old job givers. Maybe they team up together. So maybe when you do the tank storyline, you're seeing the 4 tank job quest givers in that storyline, because now we're on Eorzea doing it, we're on Hydaelyn doing it, we're not on the first. It's not a completely different jabroni giving it to us. So you may get your job quest people in this storyline. There's just not a level 90 job quest.
Yeah, I saw a lot of people who are like, but I really like Dark Knight quests, and I'm like, that doesn't mean they can never give you Dark Knight lore ever again.
Right.
It just means,
wouldn't it be funny to see them interact with each other? That'd be cute.
Yeah,
it would be, actually.
What if the the leaders of the different tanks got together and decide to do something, and they could give you lore for, I don't know. I don't have a problem with this, honestly. All right, Studium deliveries. These are going to be like the Crystarium deliveries. So 5 quest lines. Most of them they're all hand and land. And there's going to be extra quests upon completion of all 5 quest lines. I enjoyed those for what they were in the Crystarium, and I look forward to doing them in the Studium. Am I saying that right, though? Studium? People were saying
think so.
stadium, and I'm like, no, studium like students, right?
It's got a U in it.
Yeah, it's got a U.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is the crystalline mean. That's all it is.
Yeah. All right, they're adding new dungeons. They've given us some screenshots. We've got something that's very obviously Garlean. Some people were thinking it looked like the... what was it? Like,
Final Fantasy VII, the train
no,
track?
No. 14. But it was like, is this the same place that, like Estinian, people have snuck in and out of different ones, and we've played as Estinian and do whatever. I did notice this is a little train. That's a train car. Notice the wheels in that first screenshot. And then we have a snowy place that basically looks like a parking ramp where the, it looks like Matchbox cars should come down that.
Right.
But
the mall
nothing
has
else
been
is around.
destroyed.
The mall has been destroyed. Yeah. That's the name of the episode. The mall has been destroyed. This is the screenshot. I'm like, this dungeon is California wildfires.
Pretty much, yeah.
I do like, and I'm assuming this next one is probably our first dungeon, or maybe our second, whatever.
Yeah, I think so.
It has Void Ark vibes, right? It's got that organic, but...
Yeah, this looks like Tower of Zod. I don't know if it is.
Yeah, Tower, yeah. All right, and we're having new trials also, but they're secret, so I'm assuming spoilers. And there's going to be they said normal and hard mode, but I assume they mean basically the storyline one and the extreme one. They're adding a new raid called Pandemonium Asfestelos. I don't know how to say that. That's in 6.1, 2 weeks after launch. The Savage version will be added 2 weeks more. I really like when they stagger that. Do you remember when that shit used to come out all at the same time, and people who wanted to raid would just ignore everything else and jump in the raid and feel pressured? And it's like, why? There's no reason.
Yeah, I think the Raiders have gotten
better
used to
this
this. They like it better this way. So, yeah,
And then
this looks badass. I hate to linger here, but this shit was kind of badass. The video, if you had looked at
the zone,
the zone itself is really cool. Now, I looked up this. They may have explained it a little bit, the Asphodelos. But I think Sin and I looked it up, and it has to do with Greek mythology about hell, kind of.
It's one of the underworlds, right?
The underworld. So we're going to...
Yeah.
They show us something, I feel like, that showed us some names of something about what would be coming up. So, or maybe it was some speculation I read. But I think we're very clearly looking at something that has to do with the underworld.
Yeah, the zone looks cool. And they didn't want to show too much because of spoilers, but... Somebody said the chains were reminiscent of something from a different...
The castle in chains is like Final Fantasy VIII.
Okay.
And there's an organ music in the background. It is not the castle theme from Final Fantasy VIII, but it gives you a little bit of that feel.
Okay. Well, and that might not also be the music for the zone, right? We've been shown videos that wasn't the music for the zone. But no, it looks cool. So I look forward to that. Normal raids are fun. We're also getting a new treasure map called the Excitatron 6000. This
name.
picture, I know, right?
Great name. I like it.
And treasure maps, I feel like, is one that they could just... I like the raid being dark and intense, and I feel like treasure maps is where you get goofy and lighthearted, maybe.
Yeah.
What are your theories on what the screenshot might mean?
I have one.
Okay.
I think there's people that think this is Thavnair. I don't remember them saying anything about Thavnair about this. I think this is Lunar. And I think they said something about, like, they're not showing the full screenshots because if they zoomed out, you would know what was going on here, so they don't want to show it. I think it's on top of something huge. I think it's a giant rabbit or something, a lunar rabbit, a Lunarian creation, and we are on this Lunarian something or another. So it's the top of something's head, or there's something weird. But I think those doors in the back are crescent moons, and I think this is something lunar related.
Yeah, they look like moons and planets and orbits back there, both the doors, yeah.
Yeah.
And there's these little purpley things back there that almost look like ears of something sticking out of the top of something's head.
Yeah, when I was watching this live, people were saying Thavnair, and I'm not getting that vibe at all. And I'm like, guys, first of all, the color palette's off from Thavnair. It is a bright color palette.
Thavnair one already.
Yeah. Yes. I'm like, but the stage has lunar crescents on it. It looks like planets or something on the doors. They look like crescenty. I'm like, I kind of hope this is on the moon. I don't know why it matters to me, but I kind of do. But if I'm wrong, I'm cool with that too.
Yeah.
Well, it's kind of a safe bet too, considering the theme of the expansion.
Yes, it's going to be some lunar bits.
I'm thinking it's moon related.
Yeah, yeah. Well, and then we have like purple tentacles coming out, so I don't know what that means either. So I don't know.
Zodiac.
I don't know. Honestly, the little circles with the colorful squares, all I could think of was Trivial Pursuits.
Oh yeah.
Right?
Oh my god.
Right?
Yes.
All right, PvP update. This might be the first PvP update that I'm actually kind of excited for.
Oh yeah.
Right? This is a small-scale PvP content called Crystal Conflict. So it's let's see. It's going to be ready in 6.1. There's going to be a new reward system in 6.1. The idea is short matches with simple rules that can be played casually.
Thank you.
They're going to get rid of role-based matchmaking and actions. So I can see some people saying, and I might be one of them, the streamlining and or dumbing down or whatever, but it's like, obviously, this is not a PvP-centric game, so honestly, I don't mind them making it just more enjoyable for everyone. They're adding distinctive PvP actions and job-specific adrenaline rushes, so that's, I don't know what they mean by that, but that might be interesting. The team may repurpose some visual effects for actions, but they will remain separate from PvE actions. I've thanked them forever for not trying to balance PvP and PvE actions in this game.
They should never do that.
I've played games that did that, and it was bad. All right, closer to 6.1, they're going to show us how the jobs will function in the new PvP mode. Crystal Conflict will have 2 teams of 5, which is interesting because nothing else in this game has a team of 5.
Right?
Yeah.
Right? There's no role restrictions. There's going to be casual, ranked, and custom matches with skill-based matchmaking. You know me, the one time I tried to do the 4-man PvP, I got fucking yelled at because it was apparently ranked or something, and I didn't know what I was doing. So,
yeah.
All right.
It sounds to me like they're going to match you with the right people with the skill-based matchmaking. So even if you get into something, you're going to be matched with other people that are like-minded to you. We'll talk about the other systems in a little bit, but I'm very happy with the direction they're going. As far as short matches go, I've said it a million times. I want short matches that pop fast. I want to get in. I want to get out. You don't get salty that way.
And then I want to get my rewards, right? I want to get
rewards.
I want to, that's why I'm playing.
And I think there's some good stuff about this removal of role-based matchmaking. I think that's going to unlock a way for us to do a lot more, a lot faster. That's also going to be faster queues. And you're still going to have the flavor of the job with these job-specific rushes, the distinctive PvP actions. I think they're going to make this in such a way that you can use the environment to get your kills. It's kind of like what we said last week. Like, you might be able to fluid aura somebody into a spike pit and get your kill and still do what you need to do to finish the objective. No, it's not hut ball. We'll talk about pushing the crystal or whatever we're doing, but this is going to be fun. I'm actually really excited about this.
So it seems like the maps are all there's multiple, I would say, skins of the map, but basically the map has 2 paths and a crystal in the middle. Each of you have a home base on either end. So the 2 teams with bases on opposite ends of the map compete to claim possession of the crystal in the center. That's called the tactical crystal. Once a team has claimed possession of the crystal, they can push it to the opposing team's base. The team that gets the crystal onto the goal wins. It just seems like a very simple and straightforward idea. The initial example has an old Charlean setting. And it looks like, when they talked about it, some of the maps are going to have environmental dangers.
Yeah.
That one's like blowing, like it's on fire. One of the paths is on fire.
Well, yeah, it's like Bomberman, and then everybody in the chat was like, Yoshino worked on Bomberman. He even called it out. He's like, did it call back to my resume with Bomberman? So that's neat. That's maybe one of those ways you push somebody or you pull them into the fire to kill them.
Well, the other one's like a volcano, so I'm wondering if you're going to have like lava flows at some point in the,
or steam vents, or yeah. They're going to have seasonal rewards awarded on place or tier, and it's going to include titles, achievements, and other accolades. Series periods will be added. The name is tentative. Players may earn series rewards by participating in any PvP content during each series. I like that idea that I can do whatever PvP content and earn towards my series score. And Crystal Conflict itself will have its own season with tiers and ranks, but the general PvP mode will be conducted in a series. Yoshida says they haven't set a clear delineation yet, and they might modify this. So a series would last between major patches like 6.1 to 6.2. However, a season would not be dependent on the patch cadence. In general, they'll be shorter. So we're going to have short series, short matches, short, get in, get out, get your rewards, have fun. Players can earn rewards by accumulating series EXP and raising their series level. So there's going to be a leveling component. So that's, I love progression. As you participate, your series experience increases where tokens are awarded for leveling up. Gear, mounts, other items are going to be awarded by hitting a level. And when a series begins, your series level will be reset to level 1, and the reward lineup will change. This next screenshot I was kind of excited by, because I play other games that have like a little looks like a battle pass to me, right? I do these things. I hit my Subway card stamp number 5 and I get a reward.
Yeah, it's good stuff. I don't play a lot of other games that do this, but Cinna does. She plays a lot of Overwatch. And, she's always talking about, I got to get X number of matches to unlock the skin during this event or whatever. And so, I had to ask, is this the same sort of thing? And it looks to me to be, if not identical, very similar to it. You win, like on this one, you win 5 matches, you get a something. You win 5 more matches, you get a something. And that arrow progresses till, you've gotten all the rewards for that series or whatever else. You get extra coins, whatever. But it gives you a sense of progression, like you said, Yelta. That on top of the levels, you're getting something.
Well, and I don't even think they're talking wins. It's EXP.
That's what I was thinking.
Right, Kariri?
Yeah.
So you ready?
Well, I was thinking of like we play another game. We play Dead by Daylight, and the thing about that is you can still be accumulating rewards and XP in that game even when you're losing.
Oh, that's great.
So you can still unlock all sorts of content, even if you can't win.
So in this example, where he's at level 5, he's unlocked tier 5 reward. When he hits level 6, he'll get the special tokens indicated by a diamond. And then when he gets to level 10, they will also get gear amount or whatever item on that star piece. And then I'm assuming that once it'll flip over to levels 11 through 20. After that,
I would think so. Yeah, it looks like there'd be more progression. The arrow seems to carry on, so I would think so.
Now, in a system like this, throughout the series, does it cap out somewhere? Like if it gets to level 100, like in your experience, would getting to level 100 get? Hey, it's the top thing. If you get any higher than that, you're not really getting anything else.
Oh, there's definitely going to be a cap. Yeah, 100%. Yeah, once you've gotten to this part, you're done for this series, and then I would assume that they'll reset the series often enough that you feel like you could keep doing this, continuously and, still progress. So I wouldn't think they'd make it too easy for you to get to the end of the series.
I feel like as long as someone who plays a couple times a week and does whatever PvP a couple times a week and get the basic rewards or whatever, and then people who play more can get the extra rewards or something.
Yeah.
All right. It says also that you will collect tokens that will carry over to a new series, and previous rewards you might miss will be available by exchanging these tokens. So that takes the FOMA out, right?
Yeah.
Vi was super excited about this. This opens up even though I missed something, I can come back and grind them out later, kind of thing.
Yeah, I've never seen the word FOMO used so much as when this was shown.
Yes. It was everywhere. And series experience and levels are not limited to Crystal Conflict. They're going to be in all the modes. They've had players in mind who wanted to spend time in PvP, like raiding, without worrying they'll miss out on series rewards forever. So they can do PvP and earn tokens the next time they come around as rewards. Oh, and regarding the criticism, do we even need a PvP? You know what? They've decided they want to do PvP, and Yoshida wants to grow and expand it. I know a lot of people are like that they wanted some of that esports, popularity. I don't know if this game will ever get that, but I don't know. As long as the PvP is fun, it's part of the, what do they call these games where you ride the roller coaster?
Amusement park.
Amusement park, yeah, an amusement park type game. A PvP component then PvP should be, offered.
Well, Yoshida wanted esports at one time too.
Yeah.
They really tried. I think it's just good for the game overall. It's something that will attract a certain player base. There's enough people that care about it that it will be an attraction to some.
Mm-hmm.
Like they'll say, okay, there's PvP in this game. I don't think the hardcore care about it. And until they fix some of that win trading bullshit or whatever, there's still going to be some issues. Hopefully that somehow comes out of, like, they get rid of that through all of these system changes. But you got to do something with PvP, or else you're not going to have a well-rounded game. Your thought?
You talk about that win trading, but some of the win trading fixes against win trading kind of fucked why our free company doesn't do PvP anymore. So I'm kind of hoping that even like a custom match, I can invite more than 2 friends to come do something with me.
Will I be able to speak in this PvP?
Or you have to use
limited
macros?
to a bunch of emotes or macros, yeah.
Oh, yes. They did mention the Garo collaboration, and they know people want it to come back. It's a work in progress. This is dealing with a non-Square Enix company.
Licensing.
They can bring back the, Final Fantasy 15 event. They can keep bringing back the Final Fantasy 11 event. They can keep coming back with, all those events, the 13 event. But Garo's a little different. That and I'm torn because they also said it was going to be limited time, but at the same time, I also didn't get everything I wanted. So if I came back, I might not be that mad. All right. The calling card system. That's the tentative name. So this is like in other games where you can make a little profile for yourself. That's really your public profile. And so they're going to do a customization of profiles. It's going to be displayed before a match begins. It's going to be maybe used outside of PvP as well. And, in addition to the profile, it displays in the player search window. So you're going to have backgrounds and profile customization options, and those are going to be rewards you can get throughout the game. Some is PvP seasonal and series rewards.
Gotta catch them.
I keep thinking like the Animal Crossing. I can make my card. I know what that means. Mm-hmm. I like that idea.
Yeah, more stuff to collect.
That's right.
Do love unlocking stuff. There's going to be another live letter before 6.1 on how to customize and decorate the calling card by clearing various content. And the feast itself is going to be unavailable as of patch 6.1. Pre-season play will still be available from 6.0 to 6.1. And wolf collars are still going to be available and tradable, so there's no need to get rid of them. Mm-hmm. The rewards obtainable from the feast will be rolled into the new reward system. Yoshida thanks feast players for their support and hopes they will support the new mode. So, I don't know. I'm as someone who doesn't even PvP, I'm excited by both the Crystal Conflict mode and the kind of restructuring of rewards.
Oh yeah, all of it's great. All of it is good. Good changes to PvP. I do want to add. I heard some negative sentiment and then some like a change on it. That last thing about the wolf collars and about the old rewards. I'm sort of hearing that it's not the top 100 rewards, so like not the mounts and not the armor. The only thing I can see that you can change wolf collars for is the weapons. So maybe it's just the weapons that'll carry over. I don't have any confirmation of any of this stuff. I'd love to hear more about what they plan on doing, but I don't guess we're going to hear more for a little bit longer. But I'm not quite sure. And I got to say, after the White Ravens debacle, you know, if they put a replica something or another in there, I would rather see that than the actual.
Well, and I know people, and her name is Vi. I love you, Vi. She really, really, really wants some of those top 100 items for Glamour. And honestly, I feel like if they just slap replica on it or make some minor adjustments, that doesn't bother me. Just, you know. There's nothing, I never see anyone wearing those items anyway, and honestly, I wouldn't know that I should be jealous of their PvP accomplishments if I saw them anyway.
Well, we'll see. I still feel like there may be something that they're not going to get. Maybe it's the mounts. Maybe it's something.
I can see them keeping something out. But I don't know. The theory of this game seems to be release it as something only a few get and then make it easier down the line, right? You know, the first time you see someone on the the new Savage, you know, mount, everybody's like, oh my God, you got that. And then later, you know, all of us farm it up on free company night. But you've had a year to enjoy it as something exclusive. I don't know. I don't really know how I feel on that. I go back and forth. All right, we've got some crafting and gathering adjustments. I think the biggest one is that Disciple of Land is not going to be gathering high quality stuff anymore. You're not going to be able to buy high quality stuff, you know, base mats. They're going to change the quests that require high quality items to accept high quality or normal quality. The bonuses from delivery is going to be, you know, removed. Actions that affected high qualities when gathering will be adjusted. I think all of this we kind of figured.
Oh, yeah.
Sure. Achievements are going to be adjusted so you can still get them. New actions are going to be added. And existing actions will be adjusted. Which we all assumed. Recipe progress and quality values are going to be adjusted. You know, because of the downscaling all the way across. Along with the above, they're going to make adjustments to the difficulty of crafting high-quality items will not increase significantly. So they're balancing it, which is what I also assumed. For mining and botany, new actions will be added, and existing actions will be adjusted. The name of perception will be adjusted in some language. Greater perception heightens the chance of triggering Gatherer's Boon, so that will increase the yield by 1. Some people were saying that that's not good enough, and I'm like, but honestly, if you're at a node, I'm hoping this affects things that are like, you can only get 1, and now you can get 2.
Yeah, and I hope it's per hit.
Yeah, you know, that's...
Oh, yeah.
And I'm kind of thinking of like some of those hidden items where you can only get 1 of whatever. What if I had enough perception I can get 2? Yeah. So in an hour of farming, instead of getting 3, I can get 6. I mean, Jesus Christ. Actions that increase the probability of obtaining high-quality items is going to be, they just said that, Gatherer's Boon. For fishing, new actions are going to be added and existing ones will be adjusted. Large-sized fish will now appear in place of high-quality fish, and the descriptions will be adjusted. Perception will affect fish collectability. Spearfishing is now a minigame. I loved this simple little video. So upon teaming waters, players are going to now directly utilize their harpoon to catch fish for greater immersion. Bonuses are awarded for successive catches and more. Did you guys watch this video?
Absolutely, I watched it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's simple, it's basic, but gamifying, yeah, A gathering class is fun to me. I liked this.
I'm baffled by it, and in a good way, but I'm just baffled as a Legacy player why Yoshida has put minigames back into Gathering. He came from that in 1.0. Those two minigames in the Gold Saucer are from Mining and Gathering as 1.0 was it.
1.0, yep.
So to add minigames, I'm scratching I love the minigame. It's great. I realize that Gathering, especially offhand Gathering, there's much of a difference, is boring, and maybe spearfishing in itself because it was just you hit it. I mean, did you even pick? I don't remember in spearfishing.
In spearfishing, you had to choose which head you would use in your spear, small, medium, or large.
Right, and
that was it. And then you push button, get bacon.
So it's a little different than the other ones, and it's just like, I don't know. I'm scratching my head. I'm happy to have a mini game back or whatever, but is this going to go back into the Gold Saucer like you did with the other two? Why are the other two in there? Bring those back and make those the offhand of the Gather one. I don't know. It's just weird to me overall, but I'm happy to have it. I love mini games.
It's cute and simple and looks like I could do it and actually catch some fish, and I have no reaction time whatsoever, so that looks great.
Yep. All right. They're also going to adjust leave rewards. The amount of gil rewarded per leave quest will be adjusted in light of gil inflation. The XP and gil rewarded by trades, craft, and fishing leaves requiring a large number of items is currently too high and will be reduced. Is that coffee biscuits, guys?
I think that or the next one. This is all coffee biscuit related.
The EXP and gil rewarded by certain other leaves will be increased to balance with the adjusted ones in the overall downscaling operation. This looks like they're just balancing them out, because you would sometimes pick and choose which leave to do based on one being vastly superior to the other. System adjustments, the required and earned EXP downscaling, all classes and jobs and trust NPCs will be affected. The time, number of duty clears, etc. required to level up will remain unchanged, so they're keeping it balanced. There will be a mid-level EXP reset as of 6.0. The team wanted to bump you up to the next level, but the database must be overwritten to implement the blah, blah, blah. So this technical stuff. So any EXP you have into a level of one of your classes or jobs is going to be reset to 0. So if you're close to leveling up, you might just want to go finish leveling that up.
Let's do it. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So
this all makes sense. People had a conniption, and I don't know why, but this all makes sense. They're recording your level, right? So the data on their server records what level you are. To get all the data, I think they explained it. It was something like, they say it in here, the 3 weeks of servers being offline if they were going to save your experience points.
The conversion would have been bad.
Yeah, it would have been terrible. So all they got to do is just say, hey, you were level 59, you were level 72, you were whatever, and you start from there. So yes, take the advice, finish the level, go through your stuff, get over the hump, or else you're going to lose that. You lose what? 1 hour, because if you run
MSQ
one of the
roulette.
roulettes, you'll get all that back.
Yeah, don't cry. It's leveling is pretty fast in this game, so if you're close, just go into the next level. All right, let's see. Yoshida also says don't feel pressured to max out all the levels of your jobs. Just get the jobs that you're close to the next level. So good. New elegant tomes. We're gonna get aphorism and astronomy.
Great.
So
2
they gave us a
A's.
bunch. We're never going to remember that.
Gotta make it easy for you, yeah.
Just, the gear sets are cute. We had the classic Yoshi P holding up a printout. The one that I assume is Dragoon, I don't understand, or it might be Reaper. I don't know what that whirling windmill blade is all about. It's a little weird. But most of them look okay.
Yeah,
I want that Paladin set so bad.
I know.
It's so good. The Rydia
really
thing,
is.
Everybody was going gaga over it. And then I like the Spoony Bard. I think the Edward set looks pretty cool, too.
Looks nice. The team is trying to figure out how to expand glamour plates. That's one of the things we've asked about over and over again. And by 6.1, they hope to have a plan to start addressing inventory capacity. They are I like this next one a lot, honestly.
Me too.
The number of tomestones needed for weapon exchange will be reduced from 1,000 to 500. The team looked at the balance of raid loot drops and removal of belts and how it would restrict players' options to continue to collect 1,000 in exchange for a weapon.
Yeah.
Honestly, you buy the tomestone weapon for your what you consider your main, but then you're not going to buy more tomestone weapons unless you have an ult you're seriously interested in that you don't have a primal weapon for or a trial weapon for. So I just, it should be not that hard to upgrade your main hand weapon, and this supports that. The team's going to add some new hairstyles for Viera and Rothgar. Yoshida knows it's been a long time, and but the races are really unique and blah, blah, blah. I feel like they painted themselves into a corner on that one.
They really did.
Female Viera will have more hairstyles at 6.0. Male Rothgar will get more in 6.1. Viera males were constructed differently than females, so there's less limitations on hairstyles.
Hey, kind of weird. They should have done that to begin with. The others.
We're going to get purple crafter scripts and gatherer scripts, which is normal. That's just kind of like getting a new tomestone.
The Yelta's happy because they're purple.
It's purple, so that they love me. That means they love me. Yoshi P loves me. They're changing the achievement UI with the near completion and recommended tab and a whole overall visual redesign. It's supposed to look like a journal, as if the Warrior of Light is using a journal. It looks nice.
Yeah.
I'm fine with it, whatever.
It's whatever to me. I was expected when he was talking, I think last episode he was hinting or something, he had hinted to one of the interviewers, this great new achievement change, and I was hoping for a little more than this. I was hoping for some timestamps. I was hoping for something a little better. Maybe it's the start of something else. To me, it just got a skin change. I really...
That's exactly right.
Yeah. I welcome the change, and I'm glad the UI team gave it to us. But, I don't know. Unless it gives me increased usability. That's, if it makes it easier to use, I'll be more excited for it. But honestly, right now, near completion and recommended are things I can already sort by, I think. I don't remember. Anyway, group pose can now be activated while playing an instrument. All right. The company action back on your feet will be replaced with an action that extends sprint duration within cities. Which at first I wasn't sure about, but I'm like, you know what? Honestly, if you come back for not the expansion release, right? But, every time they have a point patch where we've basically already leveled everything up, we usually turn on the one that makes teleports cheaper. This might be the other one we make cheaper. Yeah. Right? So you can sprint and quest and teleport faster and cheaper. Back on your feet was the one that basically made your weakness after being raised less, which wasn't, I never used it.
No, we never used that.
Yeah.
They're adding gotcha, is what I heard. Items containing a random minion or mount will be added to the Grand Company Seal Exchange.
Right.
But somewhere else I saw that this thing will give you like any item, and you might get a mount or minion. I don't know. I don't know enough about it yet.
You'll probably get a firework.
I'll probably get a firework. I don't know. I don't mind having a random minion or mount show up. So, and I'm always drowning in Grand Company seals.
Yes.
We are getting support for Embody's immersed spatial audio. This is Windows only, but it's an original sound add-on produced by Embody that brings 360-degree personalization spatial audio for Final Fantasy XIV. That's kind of neat. I went to the website, but I was pretty drunk, so I have no idea if I signed up or not.
Yeah, they had Soken talk for a long time on this. I think I spaced out or something here. You pay a one-time fee, they measure your ear or something, they get some scan or something, and then they make this stuff for you. So if this is the same thing, I'm pretty sure it is. But yeah, it sounds pretty neat. Do your research on it before you jump into it. But I think it was a one-time thing. I don't think it was a subscription.
Yeah, if it's not a sub, I'll probably try it. If it's a sub, I don't care. My ears aren't good enough to tell the difference most of the time anyway. All right, we have a housing update. We're getting the Imperium. It's going to be in Ishgard. It's based on the Firmament. It's going to be 24 wards and 24 subdivisions. In patch 6.0 with the expansion, you can tour the area, but you won't be able to buy anything until 6.1. They've been working on a new land purchase system. Relocation for land that's not ready for purchase will no longer be available. Ooh. So that used to be what we would always tell people. Just buy a small now, and then as soon as a medium or large shows up, you can just move to it immediately. They're taking that away. They're also taking away land devaluation. So houses used to go up as a certain price, and then every X number of hours it would reduce in price. But they're not doing that anymore. And they're also, it will no longer be possible to grant brand new free company members authorization to purchase land or the rank of FC Master.
Heyo.
I think that people were inviting people or alts or bots or something into the free company when a house was available. They'd invite them in and set them on their script to try to buy the house. But I think this is a try to combat that.
Yeah, but just think also in the situation that somebody hacks your account, tries to add somebody new and make them FC Master to take something over. It would stop that as well. So this
seems like it. Yeah.
Takes to it.
Yeah. They are adding a lottery system. We knew that they're adding one, but the development and operation teams can designate a plot as first come, first served, or through the lottery system. Most of the plots are going to have lottery system, but they're going to monitor the need for a first come, first serve plots. I don't really understand why you wouldn't just do lottery for everywhere, unless it's like a small server where there's lots of housing. Maybe, I don't know.
Yeah, I've heard the sentiment exactly like yours. They need to just make them all random because you're still making people act like monsters trying to clamor for one house. You know, like. Bad.
I've helped buy free company houses for multiple free companies on alts, and it's I've stayed up all night.
I played the realtor job once when it was available before they removed realtor from the game. So,
and they mentioned to enter the lottery for a private plot. Your character must have at least one class or job at 50 or above. You must hold the Grand Company rank of second lieutenant. I think you already had to have second lieutenant, so. Okay. I don't really understand this one. Another character on the same surface count must not own a plot in the same world, though you can enter the lottery for the purpose of relocating to a new plot. They had added at one time something where people from the same account couldn't have two plots on the same world, but I also had heard they turned it off. Is this them turning it back on?
Maybe so.
I don't know. To enter the lottery for a free company plot, the character must be a member of the free company with authorization to purchase, and the free company must have at least 4 members and be ranked 6 or above. So this gets around the whole thing where people would create a free company, they'd pay people to create it, and those people would leave, and then they would go buy a house personally as a free company.
Yep.
I think. Another character on the same service account must not own as a buyer a free company plot on the world. Okay. The lottery schedule will be shared across all worlds and housing areas for a period of several days. Players can view a plot's placard and enter the lottery, receiving an entry number. After the lottery is closed, the numbers are decided. The winners must claim possession of the land. The period can last several days. If it's not claimed, a new lottery will commence.
I feel like they showed something and it seemed like it was like 4 days or something. It wasn't very long.
Yeah. Well, I feel like it should be like a week, right? So if I won and I can't log on for 3 days, I don't want to be fucked.
Sure. Yeah, that sounds a little
These are also the same people that are clicking for 72 hours on a... I don't think they're going to miss 3 days.
Each player can only enter the lottery for 1 plot for every period. You can also view the number of people who are trying for that plot. You have to play... Okay, here's the one that's interesting to me. You have to pay the full price on the plot upon entering, and you'll get refunded if you don't win it. So that's honestly, I'm not against that.
I'm not either.
It makes sense.
The winning entrant once can confirm, blah, blah, blah. You can get
Cannot
possession of
withdraw.
your land. Or you can forfeit. And if you forfeit, you only get half your money back. So if you're fucking around, you just lost 2 million gil at least. The back-end logs that are recording the system will be monitored for players attempting to interfere with others, blah, blah, blah. If you didn't win, you're going to get a full refund.
90 days is generous.
90 days is generous. That's 3 whole months. If you tried to buy a house and then didn't log in for 3 months, I'm not sure what to tell you.
That's twice the time before they'll repo your house. They repo 2 houses from you in that amount of time.
Yeah. Well, they can't save that data forever, but at the same time, again, I think if it's anything like, if there's like a tsunami somewhere or,
True, yeah.
California drifts off into the sea, they can probably pause it. And they're going to do another walk through the whole process before these houses are available. And the team is still looking into investing to expand housing servers for more wards and plots. And a housing exterior that can be used like an outdoor restaurant or cafe will be available for small, medium, or large. It's cute. They held up pictures of it.
I love it. We've been decorating our free company. That was one other thing. We've been decorating our personal house. I'm sorry. I know we've done the free company house differently. We've been decorating our personal house, Senna and I. We've been having a blast. I'm trying to go with like a potion shop or a magic shop kind of theme on the first floor and all that. It's been fun playing with that stuff again. So I'm excited about this.
That's awesome.
I'm kind of hoping to get a medium or a large now that they've made it so I can share the house with someone else who can interact and decorate it. Because, I don't care if I own the house or Kariri does. That doesn't matter. I just would like Kariri to be able to decorate and me to be able to enjoy it.
Oh, for sure. That sounds like fun to me.
All right. Ocean Data Center, we're going to have a new data center called Materia. And the worlds are going to be treated as New World with free transfers and other bonuses. And in announcements, the Endwalker patch note reading is going to be on December 12th. Super fucking early in the morning. I'm sorry, December 2nd. I might be seeing double at this point. I've had a headache all day. I know I've had a drink. All right, the audio is going to be in Japanese only, so... Oh, and there may be a special guest appearance, so that's cool. The team is currently working on patch 6.1 and constructing a new adventure. Apparently a certain gentleman will be reappearing in patch 6.1. I am so... As much as I didn't like was it Heavensward? Hildebrand quest? It's such a nice break from... I want the Final Fantasy XIV storyline to be serious, right? And to be interesting and to be whatever, but Hildebrand gave you something lighthearted to do in between them, and it also gave us some cool fights, and it gave us some cool characters, and it's not always been a hit. Sometimes they've missed, but I'm ready for it again.
Yeah, they've done a good job of incorporating other Final Fantasy lore into it between Gilgamesh and Yojimbo and other stuff. So it's been a nice little pathway of bringing humor and other Final Fantasy characters, some side characters in.
I have felt there has been a hole in my life on the past 2 expansions.
Now, have you seen Kariri Hildebrand in 5.x? Because he does appear one time.
I haven't seen him. Did you find him?
Did he? I know there were references to him when I had to go to the Gold Saucer.
I think there's a dungeon where you see his ghostly form in a certain spot, but I never saw him.
Oh, I completely missed it then.
I never saw him, though. It's random.
It's the 5.3 dungeon where they're summoning all the heroes from different worlds, and you're fighting like the Berserker and the what was it, the Necromancer
I did that
boss.
Literally tonight.
Yeah. Go in the last run before you get to the last boss. If you look on the right-hand side, there's one ghost that's looking around, going, "Where am I?" Take a look.
But he's not always there. I've never seen him. But yeah, go look for him. All right, and then they advertised their single again. They advertised a comic book. They advertised a spin-off manga series. Lots of spin-offy things. I think probably mostly for a Japanese audience. I guess, I don't know. All right, well, that was basically the live letter. I won't lie. About the time they were talking about crafting and gathering stuff, I started zoning out.
I fell asleep at one point on this. It was very long. It didn't help that Yoshida apologized for 30 minutes at the beginning.
I didn't even try it. I just said nope and read all the stuff the next day and watched the synopsis from people.
I do appreciate that they understand that this affects our real lives, honestly. But that part of me, 10 minutes into the apologies, I'm like, you told us what's happening. You told us why. Now tell us why we should be excited when it does come.
Well, and even apology aside, I mean, yeah, the apology was lengthy and the length of it was unnecessary, but the live letters themselves are so incredibly much longer than they used to be.
They're unnecessarily long.
They really are.
They like drag shit out. Bad.
There was at least 3 breaks in this one.
Mm-hmm.
And frankly, they could cut these in half just with, I mean, there's so much wasted time. There's so much downtime. There's so much, even the stuff that Yelta was reading through earlier, like the script stuff, not script stuff, but like a lot of the Disciples of the Hand stuff and land stuff, we're changing these and new abilities will be added. They had already told us that both in writing and in the previous live letter. Like, so much of it was repetitive. So much of it was not actual information.
Mm-hmm.
It was, here's something to sound like we're giving you information, but there's nothing new to tell you here. I don't need that shit. Just leave it
No, it bothers me really bad, especially when we log in at, I don't know what it was, 9 o'clock at night. I don't remember.
Yeah, it was 9.
And the thing, one of them went like 6 hours or some shit. I'm like,
the one before this was that.
Yeah, the one
that's
before
just
that
really
was 5 or 6 also.
Do you really need 2 6-hour live letters back to back? 2 weeks or 3 weeks apart from each other. It just unless you're telling us the entire Endwalker storyline, I don't know that I need that much time. So we'll see. This is. I hope it's not like you're over promising and under delivering. There's so much information, but it's all just fluff at the end of it. We had even talked privately when Yoshida was doing his apology tour at the beginning of this one. It was like, I miss the old Yoshida where he was apologizing all the time. Everybody has gone so much into, Yoshida's the god of the universe, and I've kind of subscribed to that to some degree, but then I also remember the old days when Yoshida had apologized a lot of the time for a lot of the bad stuff and bad decisions and things that he's cleaning up messes for or whatever. So I'm not going to paint him in some holy
here's
light
the thing.
all the time.
It's about respecting my time. I feel like they've designed the entire game about respecting people's time, maybe even too much. But then the live letters are the fucking Wild West.
Exactly. That pretty much sums it up. Yeah.
All right. They did update the Endwalker Special Site. There's trailer and NPC updates. And I can't even be asked.
It's all the stuff that we just read,
it's
really.
Just everything we
character
talked about.
What we
cards.
just covered.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right, we're going to move on. We're at 2 hours, so we're going to move on to reminders. So you're going to be charged soon if you pre-ordered Endwalker. Ruby just got his email. I think
Right, yeah. So on the 15th is what they said they would do the charge. Now, of course, you always have the option if you can pay now.
I did the pay now, so
yeah. So I just said whatever, and then but I got that email. So if you still have time to modify, I'm always scared to modify any shit at once I've already placed it. But I still had to modify this order button. In fact, I checked this last week because I didn't see this email, and I checked this last week or whatever, and I saw this email. So yeah, put that on your radar.
All right, what's on tap? We do have a Lyrical Journey Stormblood and a Lyrical Journey. I just highlighted it. Anyway,
Shadowbringers.
thank you. So they basically are giving us videos and lyrics of these songs. So we've got Shadowbringers and Stormblood, lyrics and videos. They're awesome, but in my opinion, this is over. I am on to Endwalkers. Somebody in the notes was like Endwalkers lyrics ? So yeah, y'all are with me.
Yeah, I'm with you because I'm like, I want to know what these fucking lyrics are. Honestly, I was telling you guys earlier, and I don't think this is why my audio is messed up, but I was goofing with my Audacity because. Listen, gang, I like lyrics. I like Soken's music. I like Final Fantasy music. I have listened to that opening trailer, trying to figure out what the lyrics are for quite some time. I love the Endwalker trailer. I've been playing it a lot. I play the Shadowbringers trailer. This is my hype train, y'all. I play the Shadowbringers trailer and I play the Endwalker trailer back to back, and I listen through it, and I love it. I had watched Rich Campbell. He was doing the Shadowbringers trailer when he first unlocked Shadowbringers a few weeks ago, and he had to replay it. He had some wacky theories about stuff. Whenever they called Y'shtola Matoya, he's like, Matoya just leapt into Y'shtola's body. I can't believe anybody can go into any Scion they want. And the whole chat's like, what? Where are you getting that shit from? But it's just fun to see the hype. So now when I watch Shadowbringers and I know the journey we've been through and it shows all those job changes we've done, and then we go right into Endwalker, to me it's fulfilling the 1.0 to 6.0 arc, and it gets my hype built so much. Yeah. But I just want to know what the fucking words are. I'm ready for these Endwalkers.
When you say that about 1.0 to 6.0, all I can think of is Urianger used to be that creepy dude in the cave handing out flyers.
Yeah.
Right?
He was.
He was.
Now he's a hunk. Now he's dad. When they show him on the screen, people go, Daddy. Daddy. Mm-hmm. Can you imagine us calling Urianger Daddy in 1.0? We're like, get away from me, stalker.
All right, it's time for happy hour. Let's move into some live letter Twitter. And okay, so we asked what people thought about the live letter on Twitter, and honestly, I think the fan base was crushed. I think that this was Terlak McGruder said my soul is crushed. So was that about the delay? I assume.
Oh, yeah.
And then Tracks0241 said, I can second that. I'm very disappointed since I can't just change my planned free week again. They should have delayed this earlier. Which we said earlier. If they had known earlier, I wish they would have said earlier so we could have reacted earlier.
They didn't know earlier because Yoshida pushed the envelope.
Yeah. We had an email from Seldom Haysel. Hello, gang. I'm a new player who just finished MSQ and now feel the freedom to listen to Final Fantasy XIV content without fear of spoilers. So I just found this lovely podcast. I'm crying. To be called lovely. Great for Praetorium runs and Moogle tomes. I have to thank you for my Sabotonder mount. Just wanted to offer a pro tip to any first-time listeners. Listening in reverse order is fantastic. Every reference to a past episode is great foreshadowing. I have yet to hear an episode without Kariri in it, but was stoked when she finally returned. Any tips on finding a good free company? Well, you could just transfer to Excalibur and join us. But joined too, but no one talks or does anything really. But there were several days I could teleport cheaper. Kind of want more. Keep up the good work. Love it. Love is lit. Seldom. Sometimes you have to try many times to find a good free company. It can take a long ass time to find your people. Honestly, even if you join Nofika's bosom, we only talk. Honestly, I feel like we talk for a few minutes or a couple hours at our peak time.
Yeah, and it's like 8 p.m. CST to like midnight CST, and then like outside of that, you're in different. It just kind of depends on the
Everyone
time
just
zone.
waves at each other, hello and goodbye, and that's about it outside of those times. Yeah.
Sometimes it be that way. But like
Now
sometimes
we do get
it's not.
together and run things and do things.
If anyone
in voice
asks for
chat
anything.
so we do things together. But yeah, the free company chat itself is not the most active place.
You have to be proactive. I feel like for the most part, we have kind of invited and absorbed a lot of like, I don't know what the name for it is. We're not antisocial, but we're not in your face social. So if you want something, you have to ask. And every once in a while we have this thing, especially on the Discord, where people are like, well, I wish we ran more events. And then I'm like, what events do you want? And I hear crickets. You know what I mean? It's like if you have to say hi. You have to say, how is everybody doing tonight? Does anybody want to? And we have a couple people who are really pretty good. Honestly, with this game, I forget. I'm not going to lie. But, I'm going to do raid roulette. I'm going to do level 70 roulette. I'm going to do whatever roulette. You have to put it out there. You have to wait a little bit. And, maybe you get bites and maybe you don't. And you can't be hurt by it. But if you need something more exciting than that, you probably have to keep hunting. And I have many alts. And I have been invited instantly upon logging in to some, it's obviously a macro. They've got almost max characters all the time in the free company, but then no one talks or does anything. And you have to decide what you want out of your free company, and then you can learn to seek it. So I feel like you might know what you want out of the free company, but it might be harder to find it. And I don't really know how to tell you how to find it. You could probably put something on a party finder, maybe under other, or
I see things in the official forums now and again.
Yeah. Yep.
There's the Facebooks. I see that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And I guess if you put yourself out there on some other social platform, you may get closer to what you're looking for because you're finding people who are talking about it outside of just in game. So it sounds to me like you're looking for people who want to talk, Seldom. So I would suggest talking when you join a free company. Do that a few times. If they don't talk back, you leave and you go to another one and talk again until you find other people who are talking. It seems like you want people to actually enjoy certain things with and just bullshit about whatever you want during the off time. I would just bullshit, and if people aren't taking the bait, whatever, I'd drop the LS or the free company and move on. I say LS. We do use our LS as well.
You should also join multiple LSs or cross-world LSs, yeah.
I really wish they would fix all that shit. Get rid of LSs, make them all cross-world link shells, or maybe they're waiting for all this data center stuff to go back and fix all those things. But use the link shells too. I think there's some validity in there. I'm
going to throw one other thing out here. If you absolutely cannot find what you're looking for and you have a couple of good friends who don't know what they're looking for either, make your own. That's what we did. Yeah. We made our own free company, and we've enjoyed every minute of it. Otherwise, it's probably not the best. There's always people shouting. I literally logged in tonight, and someone was shouting about new players put together their own, link or own free company, and come join us and run content together. The shouting is not always the best option, but if you just want someone to talk to about new stuff, or to, get some people who might be like-minded, you could join one of those for a couple days and just see if there's anyone you hit it off with, There's a lot of different options there, but I'm going to go back to Yelta's too. You can always head over to Excalibur and join Nofica's Bosom with us.
We take you in. We talk. We respond when talked to. We're not always the first talker. I want to say two things. Don't get discouraged, right? Just there is probably many groups that will fit your thing, but there is a tool. What's that tool? There is a website. I put Nofica's Bosom up there a few times. There is a Final Fantasy XIV site that helps you filter and search through and find keywords to find free companies, link shells, that kind of thing. Maybe when Ruby edits this, we'll put a link in it. But and the other thing is, I already forgot the other thing because I don't remember. But don't get discouraged, and maybe just hang out. Oh, if you're in the novice network, that's what I was going to say. if you're in the novice network still, you should pretty much try as hard as you can to find link shells, free companies, that kind of thing, before you get kicked out by being so far in the storyline or whatever. Because I feel like the novice network does sometimes it's awful, but I can see where it gives you a great feeling of community. But I feel like by the time you get through, I don't remember, Stormblood, you should have found a couple of communities or a couple of people to invite you. You know, look in-game, look out of game. You make your own if you find some people you want to make it with. But I don't know. Good luck. The search is worth it if you can find the right people. All right, and on www.gtffxiv.com, we did have a response to one of our latest episodes. Vitar says, I don't want to do Dungeons with Trusts. Good for you, then don't. How conceited can you be that you cannot accept others might not want you to play that way, your way? I don't think I ever told anyone not to do stuff with trusts. I just said what my preference was.
Yeah, I'm going to be a bitch here for a second. And yeah, first, don't call people conceited if you don't know the difference between the word concede and conceit, because they're two separate words. Don't think that's what you meant to say.
I Googled it. I'm like, what is the definition of conceited?
Second of all, exactly what Yelta said. None of us told you how to play your game. We expressed our preference to what they have done with the game. That doesn't stop you from doing anything whatsoever. Period.
And I never said don't work on trusts. I never said don't. I never said devs trusters killing the game, that kind of thing. I just have my preference. I never said
I don't like them. They're not my cup of tea. I understand why they're in the game. I understand why they felt it necessary to put them there to make content easier for people who are solo. I get it. I absolutely do. Or if there aren't enough people on. I understand it. I don't have to like it. That doesn't stop you from doing it, and it doesn't make us conceited to want to do that. That's not what that means.
Well, and I also have used them extensively when leveling up classes that I'm not comfortable with, or roles I'm not comfortable with, or something I'm rusty on. I did a lot of my tank leveling with trusts.
Well, we talked about that at length. I mean, we talked about the fact that it would be really great if they had this in the game as a teaching tool earlier.
Oh, yeah.
Game, you know?
An episode or two ago, we're like, they should put that in the level 15 dungeons.
Absolutely, yeah. So it's not that we don't see a place for it in the game. Well, I don't want to speak for you guys, but yeah, it's not that I don't see a place for it in the game, and I don't think it has its uses. It absolutely does. It's not my cup of tea. I don't like it. I don't want to do Dungeons with Trusts. That says nothing about you as a player, period.
Yeah, it's kind of a interesting comment on the website, but I do thank you for going to the website and putting a message in there, because it's interesting to me what people take back from what I say. That I never said no one else should do Dungeons with Trust. I just said that's not my preference.
I'm just glad Vitar's still listening. Thanks for bringing the viewer count up. Listening. Appreciate it.
And I might be conceited, but maybe for other reasons.
The only thing we'll concede is this is probably the end of the episode.
Oh my
Yes,
God,
please.
I'm so tired. Kariri usually goes to bed 2 hours ago. So, yeah. All right, let's move into, unless someone else has last comments, let's move into closing time. You don't have to go home, but you can't stay here. You can find links to all of our episodes and blog posts on our website, www.gtffxiv.com. While you're there, please leave us a comment. And if you'd like to, you can support us by clicking the donation button and or ordering some Manscaped product using our item code, right?
Right.
Heck yeah.
Balls.
all the way.
Balls. You can find us on Twitter at gtffxiv.com. Oh, sorry, gtffxiv. Email us at gtffxiv@gmail.com. And please give us a rating wherever you listen to us. Personal plugs. Ruby.
Yes, you can find me on Twitter at Rubicon Vale. RUBICONVALE.
And Kariri.
I am also on Twitter at Carrie Sumasu, KHARIISUMASU.
And you can find me on Twitter at Yelta Sumasu, YELTASUMASU. As always, thank you for listening, and we will catch you next time. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.